Hello, YouTube. This is the Galley La Podcast, and today we are going to be reviewing One Piece Chapter 1056, The Cross Guild. Please like the video, subscribe if you haven't. And so, your co-host Geboss is going to be the other guy in this video, and I'm Akainu Fanboy. And then we are graced with the continuation of the Vinsmoke cover story. And I believe it was the past 2 or 3 chapters we hadn't had a continuation of this. So we have Katakuri and Woven, attacking the Vinsmoke kids. Caesar doesn't appear to be in this panel, which I find interesting. So I guess they alerted after the Vinsmokes powderized all those other Big Mom children. Now, I think it would be kind of dumb, and I don't think Oda's gonna do that, is like they're all like finally getting free, and then they're just going to get captured again. But I have a hard time seeing them beating Katakuri. I think they can easily take out Oven, because Ichiji almost one-shot Oven towards the end of Whole Cake with Sparking Valkyrie. But I assume they'll get free. Maybe Caesar's going to do something tricky in the background. But what are your thoughts, G-Boss?
Yeah, I kind of was thinking about what Caesar was going to do in this. Although it is nice to see Katakuri again after all this time. But with Caesar, I was thinking potentially, because his ability is actually pretty OP, how he can just kind of suck the air out of everything. So I'm wondering if, like, to get away from Big Mom Pirates, if he could, like, incapacitate Oven or Katakuri. Although Katakuri might be able to see with future sight. And
right.
But Oven could potentially, he could like negate Oven's ability, or even like, although is his actual flame or just heat? Because if
it's just heat.
Okay, because I was gonna say if it was flame, then he could like ignite it before it even and cause damage to Oven. But yeah,
and it is interesting that, like, I think the Vinsmokes would have a chance if they had hockey, but they don't have hockey because of their willpower thing, you know? But I think Caesar could provide an interesting... Well, I guess you don't need hockey to defeat Katakuri because he has an Elogia, strictly speaking. But it would help. But I'm wondering if Judge is going to pull up to give some evac too, and things like that too. I know people shit on them, the Vinsmokes, a lot, but they're actually pretty strong.
Yeah, they're strong, but in comparison to like Katakuri and Oven,
I mean, they're better than Oven, but I think like, and especially all of them fighting together, I'm wondering how much they'd be able to hold them off at least.
Too bad,
especially with Caesar.
Too bad they don't have the other Sweet Commander Smoothie there.
Yeah, where's Cracker? Is he still out of commission? I guess.
I don't know. Was Cracker in the Was he on the ship with them?
No, he wasn't.
Okay.
No, he stayed behind.
Okay.
Yeah. He's probably still psychologically scarred from Luffy kicking his ass way back when.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so curious to see how that continues. But we're back in the Flower Capital, and we see the KO'd people, Raizo and Shinobu. So, yeah, you know, so Green Bull got some W's there.
Yeah, taking out Shinobu of all people.
No, but Raizo's Kage level though, so that's impressive. You have to admit. He fought Kaido and lived.
Yeah.
And he took out oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the
King and Queen.
No. I'm talking about Raizo's opponent.
Fukuru Kuju or whoever.
Yeah, so Raizo has a big resume of powerful opponents. So let's just keep that in mind. And he put out the fire. But so it was interesting. Yeah, so he got 2 little mini W's there yeah, so we see Kinemon's distraught about all this, and we see kind of like a good character moment with his wife too. What were your thoughts on all this?
Yeah, I was kind of I think Kinemon had a really good just like character beats in this chapter. Like him, because people were kind of complaining that in the one chapter where they were celebrating, you only saw like one panel of him and his wife reuniting, but now we're getting a little bit of a follow-up on that. But
much needed too.
Yeah, it's nice to see stuff like that, because you think about it, and we'll point it out later in the chapter, like Punk Hazard happened like 10 years ago in real time when the manga came out.
Right,
so
right.
he's been in the story longer than a lot of people. So it's
totally.
nice to have him get a little conclusion. But yeah.
And he actually has like a semblance of a character and everything like that. And Osuru was also kind of like one of the first people we meet on Wano too.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see her brought back into everything as well.
Although they're being treated by Miyagi, the goat doctor, who just give him the pill.
Just give everybody the pill. Nothing bad will happen to you. You know, nothing bad will happen to you. So, who needs Chopper when you have the pill? But anyways, so going back to
really quick, wouldn't it have been a little bit more sense to have Chopper, like looking after them or something?
But I think they already took off at this point.
No, because we go and they're still in the flower capital. Because they're talking in the one room later in the chapter.
I guess they're getting ready to go.
Yeah,
like I said, they have pills. They don't need Chopper.
Yeah, because Shinobu and Tama come and meet them. But anyway, we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah. Anyways, yeah. So, Carrot summoned to join the Straw Hats. Oh wait, no, sorry. She's getting summoned to be. Yeah, I'll let you take care of this. This is your character.
The Carrot agenda has officially been killed. Carrot no longer for crewmate, because she has the more important duty of running Zoe now.
Oh my gosh.
It's kind of weird to say. A lot of people said that it wasn't like that she doesn't deserve it or anything. But I don't know. I don't know if Oda is kind of not pandering to the fans, but she was like really high in the worldwide popularity poll. So I'm wondering if he's giving her more of a like for the fans of her, giving her like the leadership of the Minx and everything.
Right.
And I don't know.
I don't think it makes sense. I think Wanda was a clear, better choice in this position. Just older, and she was kind of the one just managing everything when everybody got taken out by the poison gas. You know, but you know, I make a council of people instead rather than just her. You know, I guess that's what I mean. But I get it. He's trying to pander, I think, a little bit to the 4 fans that like her. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, they're kind of saying like, okay, she's going to be in charge, but like the musketeers are going to be looking after everything. Like she says that they're stronger than her, and Wanda said that she'll be there to like advise her and everything. So I think she will kind of grow into the role. Plus, it's kind of putting the new generation in charge of everything, and it's kind of that shift.
Yeah, I just think personality-wise, she has no leader aspects, and I get it, she can grow, but she's just kind of the definition of a subordinate person, you know, and that's just kind of my issue. I mean, which is fine, like it's okay, like she can change and everything. It is interesting to see how the Dukes are just more wedded to the idea of Wano and everything like that. So
yeah, I didn't know how to. Especially all that they've given up for, well, they gave up a lot for Zoe and for Wano with keeping Raizo safe and everything. But I don't know how I feel about them just kind of abandoning Zoe to stay in Wano.
Yeah, that's true.
But at the same time, it's the whole thing like, since Kaido's gone, you kind of have to have stronger people there in order to protect against the world government and people like Green Bull. But
Yeah, contrary to what Akainu's words were, there's not as many strong people in Wano than, let's say, Zo. You know, there's not that many strong samurai. Let's just be real about that. You know, they all kind of got manhandled by Green Bull as soon as he walked up there. He like basically soloed the entire army of Wano, more or less. You know, in terms of just like the top tiers, right?
Yeah.
Like Green Bull would have a much harder time invading Zo in comparison. Like, you know, and so that's just, especially when you have Zunisha is in itself a country, you know. And then moving on with the Odin's father thing. I mean, it was fine. I mean, it didn't really hit me that hard because I don't really care, to be honest, about the grandpa and all that. But I guess some at least like Oda's wrapping up this stuff. He's not just throwing it in there and moving on. So I did appreciate that. You know, he's just kind of fine tuning everything.
Well, a couple chapters ago, the Sukiyaki straight up said, like, I don't want to reveal myself to Momonosuke and Hiyori, but I don't know why he chose to. Maybe I'm missing something, but
yeah, maybe like a Shane aspect, but Momo's gonna need help ruling the country, you know, from another guy who, you know, ruled the country and everything. Yeah. So
although someone did point out that now Momo can learn how to read the poneglyphs, because Sukiyaki taught Odin how to do it.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
Yeah, they're even more like valuable now. Like the knowledge hasn't been lost. It's not just like the people of Ohara that knows how to do it now, that knew how to do it.
So that's interesting because they were just putting a Robin and now there's just kind of this whole line. Does that kind of mean Blackbeard has more people to abduct potentially now too?
I mean, it's probably a closely guarded secret, and if like he said that I just want to live out among the common folk, so I'm wondering if he'll either maybe he won't teach them, or since people think he's already dead, that he can teach them, but they won't necessarily know that they know it because they would have thought that he was dead and the knowledge died with him.
Well, it depends how far Oda wants to take this, but he's kind of setting up Kid as a little bit more of a rival later on in this chapter, and maybe the Kid pirates overhear this stuff, you know? Because they just kind of trust them foolishly, and maybe they could add more to the sinister part to Kid's character that's kind of been lacking lately, and they take advantage of the situation.
I don't know. I'm kind of more worried about someone else later in the chapter who overheard something.
Okay, yeah, we can get back to that.
But anyway, I just wanted to mention the Kinemon face. Pretend like, yeah, absolutely, I knew you were alive, and he's like, I don't know. I thought that was funny.
Yeah, the faces are always good with Wano, but it was cool that again, just these little details I've been appreciating more from Oda. That Robin's like, hey Frankie, like, because you know that's how they kind of first met, was in regard to the topic of Pluton, you know. So it was interesting to kind of see this interaction between them, and I liked it a lot. Yeah. And you got the crew together just talking, and I like that, you know, just kind of these crew interactions that's kind of been neglected with having the freaking scabbards, you know, in this past saga, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm liking that more, and then we see even more with the Shinobu thing with the Green Bull stuff. So I thought that was kind of weird too. Yeah.
I don't know how to feel about that.
Well, we don't need to ask questions, but he has a powerful fruit, I suppose.
Although Raizo could be like really hot now because of that.
Right. That's true. Yeah. He's already perfect, but
he's like Queen. If he loses any, if he's any skinnier, he'll be more popular.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see a perfected Queen later on, because everybody Sanji fights ends up like looking like handsome afterwards, apparently. So, but So, and then we have an eavesdropper here too, which I find interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of hate that Caribou is so important to the story.
Mm-hmm.
Like he's been in 2 places that the Straw Hats have been and overheard about 2 ancient weapons.
Right.
Like he's like his knowledge about stuff is like deadly. And who do you think that the person that he's gonna go to is? I mean, like my first thought would be Blackbeard, and that's always the thing. Oh, it's gonna be Blackbeard. Anything evil that's gonna happen, it's always Blackbeard.
Well, pre-Wano, a lot of people thought Kaido was gonna be the one that was gonna find out about all this. You know, because he was like, you know, he gets captured by Kaido and all this stuff. That didn't happen. So obviously maybe Kid. You know, maybe he he's like, hey, Kid Pirates, let me join you, and I'll tell you about all this stuff. Because Kid's absent for all these conversations, you know. Or maybe the world government eventually gets a hold, because this is a lot of information the world government would love, too. So,
but I mean,
Blackbeard, Kid, and world government, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he specifically. I don't know about the world government because he specifically says like a certain someone. Oda loves that phrase, a certain someone, a certain pirate. But
no. But he maybe tries to tell this person, and he gets caught by the world government. That's kind of my thought there, you know, in a way. Because, yeah, you know, it's probably the 10th Titanic captain, if I had to guess, or he works for Shanks, you know. But so I don't know. Yeah, I'm curious to see. It's kind of like Chekhov's gun. Like when is it gonna pay off? You know, with having all this knowledge with Caribou and everything. So, but yeah, they did the restoration plans, finishing everything up, and then Momo.
Well,
sorry.
Also,
you have anything?
I just wanted to point out, Tama asks to join the crew, and
oh, good.
She gets an invite before Yamato does. Just saying.
Also, there's more personal connection than Yamato when it comes to the crew. So
yeah.
I'm just kidding. Sorry, that's brutal, but it's just objectively speaking, she spent more time with the crew than Yamato has. But that's neither here nor there. But
that's at the end of the chapter.
Right. But so they dipped off like per usual, which I do enjoy. I like that aspect of it. And Momo's a little panicked and everything, and then we get to this. You know, they wanted to say goodbye and everything and show their proper samurai honor. But I do like how they just kind of take off, and then we get over to Tagage Port, Udon. So, do you want to take a whack at this section?
I just wanted to point out just 2 quick things about that previous section with Momo.
Okay.
One, he wanted Zoro to teach him how to use the sword. So I'm just imagining in the future, because he'll probably train with Kinemon, if anything. Like his dragon form wielding giant swords or something. I think that would be cool. The other thing is that Kinemon like pointed out, like, they said their goodbyes to Denjiro and the others, but left out Momo and Kinemon. So I don't know what that is. But anyway, this next part at the port, we see Luffy, Kid, and Law all getting ready to leave. And they're all choosing different ways to go, which is because their log pose has locked down to 3 different islands, so they're all choosing the next one to go to. So they basically, Law says that their alliance is over. So rip 10 years worth of alliance.
Which is good. I want to see Law do his own thing and everything.
Yeah, but this kind of, I don't know. I like seeing them all work together, but I know you specifically like them being more rivals toward each other. But it's kind of more like a friendly rivalry at this point. Like we have like Law, like, oh, YouTube just picked the middle one. That's childish, and he's like, making fun of him. So
yeah, so I mean, Kid and Law are set up by Rivals by Oda. That's part of the reason why I like it, and then also to have someone relatively his age that he's competing against, the worst generation, and that the concept doesn't get completely thrown away. It's funny to see their bickering, and Kid's still salty about not being an emperor, because Buggy took that from them. Now, I think this is. Some people have been saying that this is catastrophic to the Zoro agenda, because it shows that Mihawk was insufficient to make Buggy Yonko. He needed Crocodile too to push him over the finish line.
My gosh.
And also, so that's some people have been saying. I haven't been saying that. Some people have been saying that.
The slander.
But, yeah, so some people have been saying. Many people are talking, but I thought that was interesting. That everybody was saying Mihawk was under him, but Crocodile. I didn't see that one coming. But yeah, that's what it took for Buggy to be Yonko, Mihawk, and Crocodile, right?
Yeah,
so, interesting stuff right there.
Finally, we get to see some inkling of Crocodile after the time skip. My boy's back.
Took a very, very, very long time.
It's been since the time skip.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was kind of floored by this revelation. At the same time, we kind of did talk about it maybe a while ago. About I think we kind of brought this up when Buggy was first revealed to be a Yonko. Like, he had to have people under him, and I think Mihawk makes Mihawk and Crocodile both under him make perfect sense because they're both really strong and dangerous. But I can kind of see the reason why Crocodile would join up, because he can kind of like control things in the shadows. Yeah. And do that, but I don't know why.
That's how he likes to work with Baroque works and everything, and how nobody knew he was Mr. Zero, right?
And I just think that Mihawk kind of joined up for convenience sake due to the fact that the Warlords were disbanded. And
he doesn't like to be annoyed either.
Yeah, I can just kind of see him being like, oh, I can't be bothered with like all these people going after me with this. I'll just ally myself with these people. And but yeah, the slander that Mihawk is weaker, is weak now because he's under Buggy. It's done out of convenience sake.
Well, I was reliably informed that Mihawk was Yonko level, so that's what I've been told by multiple people throughout the years. So it is interesting, one, how he's under somebody else, and two, it was insufficient for, just for him to elevate Buggy as a Yonko too. Yeah. So find that fascinating, Yeah. Unless you want to say there's two Yonko level characters on one crew.
Yeah. Well, I just think that Buggy is like the face of everything, because he was already like established with the big. He already had all the big crew that he was sending out.
On the Roger Pirates.
Yeah, he has all that, and I don't see Mihawk being the person to be like having territory or anything. So yeah, he just wants to be left alone. He's on his island by himself with just a bunch of monkeys.
Right. And so one thing I do find interesting, if probably most people are saying that Shanks will eventually die, will that then give Kid the opportunity to become a Yonko officially?
Well, I don't think that would probably be at the end of the series, if the Yonko are even a factor at that point, because I don't see. You always say that Shanks is going to be off screen by Blackbeard.
Yes.
Which I I do not like that agenda.
The last part, like they'll do some clashing of fights, and then Blackbeard will do it. That's just how I see it. But I could be wrong. I'm just a man. But I think when it comes to, it would give. It would be interesting if Kid teamed up with Blackbeard to kill Shanks too, because that rivalry's kind of already been established there, and then Kid takes that spot. And I think because there is like this devious, brutal part to how Kid was introduced,
Mm-hmm.
and it would kind of add an additional tension there between him and Luffy, because I don't know, I do want to see more animosity between the two, I don't want him to just be another buddy law guy. I guess is what I want him to go back to how he was originally introduced.
I don't know. I just think that after this arc, with everything that they've gone through together, that they're not going to be as antagonistic towards each other, like going after each other. But that's just me, because that's just Luffy. He draws everyone in to be his ally, so. That's just
also, but he said once we leave Wano, it's every man for himself. I don't want to hear any excuses. And then, like, they all get like a copy of the poneglyph, which means like they're kind of more equal now. It's just not the Straw Hats getting the poneglyph copy.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're still competing against each other. And then also, wait, what was this? I'm blanking on the other parts. And then they say you want to go after the man marked by flames, and we've got no leads. So I'm wondering if that's a reference to Sabo, potentially.
That's what
I don't know.
That's what I first thought, because Sabo has the scar on his eye, but the other, it could be someone we don't even know about, but it could also be someone pointed out that that Aokiji was burned by Akainu and his magma, so and it could be a translation thing. I want to see what the official translation says. But well, I just find it funny that Law gives Kid and Killer the poneglyph rubbing. They don't even know how to read it.
That's true.
But
and that's why I think it's interesting how we got introduced someone who can read the poneglyphs.
Yeah.
Right. And at the same time, where they're all kind of going their own way too.
Yeah, but
it is interesting, Law's face at the reaction of the man marked by flames, and the same with Robin too.
Yeah, and because I was leaning more towards Sabo because of that, because Law met Sabo at the end of Sabaody. So, and they both know him, but then again, at the same time, Robin spent the 2 years with the revolutionaries, and why would she be confused by that statement? And we've never heard him described that way.
Or maybe like confused in the sense like, Luffy, it's your brother. Like, how do you not know this? In a way.
Mm-hmm.
But Law looks like kind of sad, or like distraught. Because it's an interesting thought, because we didn't know what Blackbeard was going after too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
So
we haven't, there hasn't been any news about that, and it's been like a week, probably, or even more.
And these three have higher bounties than Blackbeard.
Than Blackbeard, yeah.
Yeah. So, which means he's gonna have to do something wild, and maybe something that can make him fling him over would be capturing Sabo, or obviously there's the Shanks scenario too. Or, he has to do something huge, because whenever Luffy does something huge, Blackbeard takes a huge step forward also.
After the show that Oda had Shanks put on the past couple chapters, there's no way that he's having Blackbeard kill him off screen. That would be shit writing.
No,
because everyone likes Shanks.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. But, and then we are at this final part. Okay, do you think Yamato's joining? Not sure. Have you gone one way or the other mood after this chapter? What do you think?
I don't know. someone I was reading on the One Piece Reddit, someone like clearly, like, the last person who joined, or sorry, the two people before was Brooke, and they kind of showed how Brooke's relationship and backstory was introduced and intertwined with the Straw Hats all throughout Thriller Bark.
Yeah.
And they were saying that they don't see this really with Yamato. With that point, or it's just the writing's not as good with her. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's for Straw Hat, she seems pretty shoehorned in. I'm just gonna say that, right? You know, like, we didn't hear about Kaido having a son, quote unquote, until like what? Like a fourth of the way through Onigashima?
I mean,
you know, like,
yeah. I mean, they were making their way up to the roof and everything. Yeah. So I don't know. I know that Yamato's popular and everything, but again, I don't know.
And again, why didn't she leave with the Straw Hats? Right? She's still kind of like chilling behind a little bit.
I don't know. And she could maybe be doing the thing like, oh, Odin wrote about how he hung on to the back of the ship with Whitebeard and took off that way. So I'm going to do that. But then she's going to forget that she has a devil fruit or something.
Yeah. And so, okay, like, I was talking to noted correspondent of the channel, Jimper, about this recently. And I was saying how her backstory is dog shit in comparison to the other Straw Hats, though. Would you agree with that sentiment?
I mean, if you looked at it objectively, she was confined and beaten from a young age by her father, and not allowed to leave Onigashima. So, I mean, it has the makings of a backstory. I mean, she had the samurai who, like, what's it called? They sacrificed themselves, like, to free her from the cave or whatever. So that could be her kind of loss, and the loss of Ace. There's that connection too. But I don't know. I'm not as convinced as, I mean, even I know the agenda's dead, but even look at Carrot. Like, she had Olive Whole Cake to be with the crew, and she interacted. She had good moments with Chopper, Nami, Luffy, Sanji, like when he found out that Pedro sacrificed himself. Like,
she fought with Zoro and made him, like, struggle a bit.
But yeah, there's not that. Yamato doesn't have that connection. Like, she met the crew like once after the battle and said, "Oh, I'm gonna join you."
Yeah.
And then, like, they had the bath scene together, and it was shown she was running around with, like, Luffy and I think it was Chopper during the celebration. But
that's it.
Yeah, unless the anime, like, expands on it, like, it's not
so bad.
It's not
like when it, sorry, but when it comes to a Straw Hat member, this isn't something you add in the anime. You
That's
know,
true.
This is something with extreme care. Is like one of the most important things in the story is the crew. You know, so, but also, like, what's her, like, Carrot had a role as, like, a helmsman. I mean, sorry, not a helmsman. Sorry,
the lookout.
Lookout. Sorry. Yeah, the lookout. Yamato, no stated role at all. You know, because I think some people said the chronicler.
Yeah.
Okay, that's like, okay. You have Nami making maps. You have Robin with the poneglyph / she's kind of the bookie type, and then you also have Broke, who could be the bard who remembers the story and gives a tale. You know.
Yeah.
Which he's done multiple times before. She has no mentor. Clear, explicit mentor. You could say the samurai, but that's, like, really weak, you know? All the Straw Hats, like, have a mentor. And I would say her story isn't tragic. It's sad, but it's not tragic. You know? like, because Robin, there's like something that's beautiful and nice, and then it gets taken away from her, and you get the hope that everything's gonna work out for the best, and then it doesn't. You could say the same with Brooke too, right? Nothing was taken away from her because she never had anything to begin with, and so a tragedy is when you lose something good. But so that's kind of my issue, is like all the Straw Hats have a tragic backstory, and it's really emotionally gripping too. All of them are kind of like 10 out of 10. Same with like Jinbei, right? Jinbei had a really good backstory. Yamato's wasn't good. Like, I can think of numerous side characters that have had far more compelling backstories than hers. And, you know,
Doflamingo for crewmate.
Doflamingo, Law, Rosinante doesn't really count, right? You could go through this huge list. I mean, honestly, I'd say Carrot had a better backstory. Pedro's her mentor.
Well, we're literally living her backstory, where she loses the person. That's why I thought Carrot would have been a good addition.
Yeah, she would be better. I'm not a big Carrot fan. She would be objectively better than Yamato. I'm just saying that much. You know, and I think there's the power dynamic too, where in the previous chapter, you had Zoro, Sanji, Jinbei kind of solidified as the top 3 commanders, basically.
Yeah.
Because they're kind of like looking out with Luffy to fight Green Bull. So, is she going to be the 4th commander? You know? Some people would say, okay, it's okay if she lacks all these Straw Hat qualities because look at Odin. Because Odin just kind of like jumped in at the end. But that's cool, but the Straw Hats aren't the Roger Pirates or the Whitebeard Pirates. Yeah. They're the Straw Hats, you know? And there's a really high bar to clear that. And I just think maybe she can join later, but also the last thing, and this is really important to the story, dreams are really important, and her dream is really shitty too. To see the world.
I mean, she also wants to fulfill like what Odin wanted to do in the journal. Like he was talking about the dawn and everything. So
that's fair. I think. Yeah, I mean, I thought, what was it? No, like at the last panel, it's finally it's finally time for me to live like Odin. Maybe it was saying it elsewhere, like she wants to see the world and everything, but I don't really know how that impacts the story. It impacts the story for Sanji to find the All Blue because he's gonna feed people, Chopper to be the best doctor because he's gonna heal people, Zoro being the strongest swordsman, Usopp being brave, probably Oda's gonna do all that stuff. That changes the world. Her seeing only a little bit of the world, because Odin saw the whole world. She's not gonna see the whole world. We're gonna have like 2 or 3 islands left max, and then the series is over. So it just doesn't make sense to me. Because when you think about it, her dream is basically the same as Nami's. Nami is just riding a map, though. That's the difference.
Yeah. I know that...
Anyway, ran over, sorry.
Yeah, Yamato's just been a very divisive character, even on... in comment sections and everything, but yeah, we'll see what happens, and I don't know if there's a break next week or not, but
it doesn't seem to be that way, which is nice. Yeah, I don't know. I've been hearing different things and everything, but yeah. Anyways, hope you all enjoyed the commentary. We will see you all next week. Like and subscribe. Don't do us dirty like that, and we will see you all soon. Peace.
See ya.